Greetings and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Another episode of World Spirit Month. This is episode 33. And tonight we're going to be tasting Wilderness Trail Single Barrel Cask Strength. And it's a barrel pick from Roof Brothers over in Paducah, Kentucky. So it's a barrel pick, which means that Roof Brothers sent a team to the distillery. They picked out they got a choice of 3 or 4 5 barrels. They tasted. They chose the one they felt best fit their customers and their flavor profile, and that's the one that is going to be bottled. It's a cask strength, so instead of being watered down to the usual 100 proof for Wilderness Trail, this comes in at 112 proof. So keep that in mind as we do this tasting. It is a barrel pick. By any stretch of the imagination, Wilderness Trail, which is out of Danville, Kentucky, is one of many new bourbon startups here in recent years. It seems like every time you turn around, there's a new craft boutique bourbon distillery starting. It is, however, somewhat unique. Like New Riff, for example, they did not rely on some made-up story. They didn't rely on some family distilling lore about using great-grandpappy's secret recipe from way before the Civil War. In fact, they were very upfront with their story. Pat Heist and Shane Baker, the two owners and two distillers, actually own a company called Firm Solutions. And what Firm Solutions do is they actually advise over 200 other distilleries around the world about research, product development, fermentation advice, distillation procedures, and technical services. So it seems to me these guys were doing every other startup's job for them. They decided, hey, we're doing their job. Why don't we go ahead and go into business for ourselves? And so that's what we're going to see from them in this bottle is their own take on what a bourbon should be. They started producing spirits in 2013. But they also made it known from the very beginning that their very first product would be a bottled in bond, which by law is a minimum of 4 years in the barrel. They also made the announcement they would not use sourced whiskey. So they're not going to go buy juice from MGP or some other distillery and then pass it off as their own. So this is a big risky gamble for this Wilderness Trail startup. Their very first dump of production bourbon was in 2018. So they've technically only been really in production for 2 years. They're aging their spirits around 4 years and dumping every year. So 18 was the first. It's 2020. We should be seeing the second full year of their maturation of their product. Something else that sets them apart from other distillers is they use the sweet mash method of distilling. Instead of the almost universally used sour mash method. And what that really means is they start every batch with a new set of yeast, kind of like sourdough bread. Sour mash, you keep a little bit of the mash back every distillation, and you put it in the new distillation to get everything kick-started, just like a sourdough starter kit. Sweet mash, you start new every single time. It's supposed to produce a cleaner tasting whiskey in the long run. So these guys are going for some big gambles right out of the gate. A bottled in bond, not going to use source whiskey, so we're going to sit on our product for 4 years and not have any income. And we're going to go sweet mash instead of sour mash, which everybody else uses. So these guys are really looking to set themselves apart. Speaking of setting themselves apart, right on the bottle, the mash bill is very, very clear. 64% corn, 24% wheat, so it's a wheated bourbon, 12% malted barley. So this is aged according to the label from Roof Brothers on this bottle, right there. It's aged for 4 years, 4 months, barreled with a number 4 char, so it's a very heavy char on the inside of the barrel. And since it's a store pick, it's going to be bottled at 112 proof. So in the glass, it's a nice medium copper color. I think this is way past amber. It's a good copper. The legs are outstanding on this. It's very sticky. Looks really, really great in the glass. So, what about the nose and the taste? That's what's really important here. First of all, I get huge salted caramel. Uh, every year we get those salted caramels occasionally, and they're really, really. This is what that smells like. It reminds me on. I'm also getting some sweet corn, but there's also a little bit of an herbal aroma at the very end. And I don't know enough about the herbal aromas to really describe that. It just smells a little herbal or flower in that case. If that makes any sense at all. It's not off-putting to me. It's just that's what I'm getting. That is delicious. It's nice and thick. It's very viscous. It's almost oily. Caramel really leads on the palate. What's really interesting about this is really sweet as it hits the tongue. And then about midway back, it starts to linger. And then by the time it hits the back of the tongue, you get a little more spice. That spice really sets there too. That's really nice. This is almost buttery. This kind of rolls off the edges of your tongue about midway back. It's almost like well, it's like popcorn butter. Little allspice back there with the spice on the very back of the tongue. Little dark fruit kind of rounds everything out. So it really hits your tongue very gently, and as it travels back across those taste buds, it opens up more and more. It's not painful at all. It's a medium long finish, really lingers right here in the throat, upper chest, good, nice, warm Kentucky hug. Very satisfying. Little cinnamon developing after you sit here and think about it. It develops right there in the middle of the tongue, and just little sweet cinnamons, some aged leather and toasted oak notes kind of round everything out. So you're getting a little bit of sweets, and you're getting some earthy tones as well. Just really rounds off the palate. So my takeaway: this is very unlike a lot of other startups. Wilderness Trail, these guys obviously have plenty of know-how. They have a lot of experience on their side. They're not relying on stories. They're not relying on a strategic market plan and trying to get everybody to buy into this lore of their bourbon. Instead, they rely on what's inside their glass, and that's awesome. It's a very good drink from a distillery from all purposes. That hey, this is their second year of actual production. I also like the fact that they stuck to their guns. They waited for their own juice. They didn't source. Um, it's just a great sipper for a beautiful afternoon, if you will. So, how am I going to rate this? Well, Carl's going to give this a 4.5 stars. I just really enjoy it. It's beautiful. It smells great. It tastes great. It finishes great. I really like that they don't source their bourbon. They are using their juice. Unlike some other bourbons we've seen over the past, they are sourcing their bourbons out until their juice matures. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. That's how they are staying afloat. But it seems like these guys from Firm Solutions at Wilderness Trail are really going forward to try to make the best bourbon they can, and they want it to be their product that you taste in their glass, or your glass, excuse me. So, guys, Wilderness Trail, 4.5 stars. Now, please keep in mind, this is a barrel pick. And what that means is this is the only one like it. And this came from Roof Brothers. I don't know that they have any more. Roof Brothers is in Paducah, Kentucky, 2 locations to serve you. And your results are going to vary by barrel pick and by single barrel. They do offer a single barrel production, a small batch production, and they offer a rye production. So this is a wheated single barrel, and it is a store pick. So it's a very unique bottle, but very, very good. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's my take on Wilderness Trail Store Pick. It's a cask proof single barrel from Wilderness Trail out of Danville, Kentucky. Guys, enjoy. I hope everyone stays safe, peace, and happy pours.